Ladies and gentlemen, from Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico, we are set to go with our next bout of the evening. El siguiente combate de la noche. En vivo on Dazn, Sky Sports, TV Azteca, y ESPN Deportes. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matcher Boxing USA and Centro Promotions. Patrocinado por Tecate, the official beer of boxing, JD Sports, and Gobierno de Sonora, Pongámosle Palomita. Presentar. Introducing your three judges scoring this contest from ringside, los tres jueces son Toro de México, Ernesto Alvarez, Alejandro Espinosa, y Bartolome Ortiz. At the sound of the bell, your third man in the ring, el referee, Gabriel Lopez. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 10 asaltos en peso super pluma. 10 rounds of boxing scheduled in the super featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting into the red corner, esquina roja, Trenador Jesus Landeros. He wears the blue trunks, calzoncillo azul. Peso oficial, 60.8 kilos, or 134 pounds. His professional record, 20, 11, 4 y 1 no contest, 16 ganadores por vía del knockout. He's got 20 wins, 11 defeats, 4 draws, 1 no contest, with 16 big wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former Mexican Pacific Coast Super Flyweight Champion, presentando de Guasave, Sinaloa, México. Damas y caballeros, Eleazar Valenzuela. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, esquina azul, entrenador Albert Ayrapetian. He wears the green and gold, calzoncillo verde y oro. Peso oficial, 60.5 kilos, or 133.3 pounds. This southpaw, two-time All-Ireland champion and 2014 prize fighter winner, boasts a record of 16 wins, 1 defeat, 1 draw with 3 knockouts, 17 ganador, y 3 knockout. He is the former IBF European and IBF Intercontinental Super Featherweight champion, fighting out of Dublin, Ireland, Irlanda. Damas y caballeros, Jono King Kong Carroll.
Mucha suerte, choque en guantes de su esquina.
So here we go. Jono Carroll. Raised in Dublin, Ireland, now lives in Spain. So he'll probably be talking a little trash in Spanish and English tonight. He's good at it. He's wearing the orange and green. His opponent, Valenzuela, wearing the blue. And yes, Fernando Valenzuela, from right here in Sonora, Mexico, one of the great pitchers of all time. Sergio, were you a Dodgers fan growing up?
Of course.
So you know him well.
Somewhat. The Bulldog, I know that was his nickname.
He always looked towards the heavens before every pitch. Jono Carroll, not much power, 3 knockouts and 16 wins, but he said that was the focus of this camp. He wanted to get stronger, went heavier with the weight. Sergio, you were a light hitting fighter. Could you ever get knockout power in the weight room?
No, and that's what I told them at the fighter meetings. You know, whenever you want to try to get power by lifting weights, it's not going to happen. Power comes from, first of all, you're born with power, but if you want to work on your strength, it comes from technique. It comes from your foundation, planting your feet a little bit more, keeping your elbows in, rotating your shoulders, using your waist. It's a little bit of everything. You just can't learn how to hit hard just by lifting weights. He was talking about putting brain to brawn. You know, he used too much brawn in that Tevin Farmer fight. He needs a little bit more brain. So See, right here, I could already see what he's implementing what he was talking about. He's not as aggressive as he was. You know, he's fighting behind the jab, backing up a little bit more, using combinations and hand speed instead of that brawn he was talking about with coming forward with his head in your chest, just throwing punches at anything like a buzzsaw.
Nicknamed King Kong. Says he used to smoke a lot of cigarettes. Gave it up, and now he can fight for days. So much energy, but right now he's getting peppered by Venezuela. Venezuela with a very average record, 20 wins, 11 losses, 4 draws. How tough a fight do you think this is going to be for Jono Carroll?
Well, we're going to find out, because these are the type of fights that you don't really know what you have, because there's not many tape on Valenzuela. He does have 4 draws. He has 11 losses, only 2 knockouts, though. So you can definitely expect him to last some distance, get some rounds in there. It's going to be a distance-type fight for Carroll, but Carroll has world-class conditioning, so no problem there. But he's going to have to keep this tough Mexican off him.
Well, Venezuela looks like a big guy, too.
You're going to start with a straight punch, slip and backhand.
Keep an eye on Carroll's face. He's been prone to cuts. And Venezuela may have won that first round.
No run. Hey,
hay que seguir igual. Hágalo fallar, sí, y esa derecha, Un cabezazo, sí.
Make him miss. Okay, he goes with the straight punches all the time behind you.
You see the highlights. Carroll boxing a little bit more. Valenzuela has some success with the left hand, the right hand. Carroll's not really using his southpaw advantages fighting behind the jab. Good round for Valenzuela.
Jono Carroll, the southpaw. Venezuela, the orthodox fighter.
After him. That's it.
5 of Carroll's 6 most recent opponents have been southpaws. So a little bit of a mix-up here. Valenzuela, a righty. Venezuela coming off a 3rd-round knockout of countryman Christian Valverde. That was July 10th. So a quick turnaround for Venezuela. He'd love to get knockout number 17 tonight, which would be by far the biggest win of his pro career. And despite having 35 pro fights, Sergio, Venezuela is just 23 years old.
He started early, and that's what you get when you're fighting these fighters from Mexico. They start early. Sometimes they turn pro as early as 16 years old. A lot of fights under the belt.
Nice left hand, straight to the jaw from Carroll.
Carroll's putting his combinations really nicely, even on the back foot. He's not coming forward like we normally see him. He's backing up, landing the punches at the end of the shots, getting the distance between them, but he's punching with speed, not aggression. More brain than brawn, like he told us. Good body shots in the inside right there by Valenzuela.
Nice left hand to polish off that combination for the Mexican, who fights out of Sonora, Mexico. Sindicatura Sonora, to be more specific.
That's it. And after him. That's it, man. Too late. When he's open, after his hand.
Valenzuela does not look intimidated at all right now.
No, he doesn't, and he found success with them body shots, too. I see Carroll really tucking in his elbows like he might have been hurt a little bit.
And you look at Carroll's face, it looks like he's already been 10 rounds. Swollen, red.
We asked Carroll, what does he know about his opponent? He says, well, we know there's not much tape. I know that he's a tough Mexican, doesn't get knocked out, and he's a big puncher.
Well, Venezuela's faced 2 world titleists and 1 near titleist. He lost a 4-round decision to Olympic gold medalist and future world titleist Zhu Shiming in 2013, and lost to Emmanuel Navarrete as well.
Valenzuela digging to that body.
Nice counter left there from Venezuela. Jono Carroll is in for a fight here tonight.
Ya lo trae.
Let me see Carroll punching with speed, not power. I love seeing that from the normally aggressive Carroll, but here comes Valenzuela landing some good shots to the body. Those are the best shots of this round. Using his distance, his height, reach advantage. Carroll on the inside, trying to break that distance, but in the end, Valenzuela caught him with that left hand right there against the ropes. Good body shots in the end.
By the way, Jonathan Lear sent me a tweet, or sent us a tweet, saying Fernando Venezuela was not nicknamed the Bulldog. That was Oral Hershiser.
Oh my
you
God.
fake Los Angeles Dodgers fan. What a disgrace you are. Lived there your whole life.
That was before my time,
Thank
Grisham.
you, Jonathan, for clearing that up.
That was before my time. But yes, you know what, you're right. Hershiser was the Bulldog.
Round 3 here, Jono Carroll in for a fight tonight. Venezuela's already shown us that. And we do our studying. When we can't find a lot of tape on a guy, we kind of wonder what he's going to look like as well. From what you've seen so far, how good is Valenzuela?
Well, he fights from the distance. He has good body shots for a taller fighter. He puts steady pressure on. I mean, and you can expect that calm, relentless pressure, that Antonio Margarito pressure, you know, where they're not really looking to land with speed or with big power. They're looking to peck away at you. And they'll take 2 to land 1. That's the type of style that Valenzuela has. It's nice, relaxed, calm, cool toughness.
Your style was to take 0 and land 1, right?
My style was to frustrate you by missing, absolutely. You miss, I land.
Venezuela's strategy is you land and I land.
Yeah.
We both land. I'll just hit you harder.
We both land, but I'm gonna absorb them a lot better than you.
Well, no one's knocked out Jono Carroll either. He's as tough as they come. When he fought Tevin Farmer, we thought Tevin might ask him to trim his beard. Tonight looks like he didn't have to do that either.
Well, the commission's a lot less strict in Mexico, I would assume. But yeah, normally a beard could be a cushion to take punches. Well, that's what we think at least.
I think in Mexico you can legally fight with a snake around your neck if you want to. Right hand connects to Venezuela. Nice combination for Carroll.
Carroll's doing a lot better job moving his head and countering in between the shots of Valenzuela. This is a much better round for Carroll, moving his head, moving his waist, and countering with speed, not power. I would like to see more jabs from Carroll, but other than that, he's doing really well, moving around the ring, not staying against the ropes, fighting in the middle right there. Pivoting away from the ropes, getting to the middle of the ring, snapping out his shots. Just like that.
But you realize why Carroll wants to add more power. He's landing all these heavy shots and he's not really moving his opponents around the ring. He wants some stoppages, so he doesn't have to be in these 10-round wars over and over.
I get it, but if you're not a power puncher, you got to train for 10 rounds all the time.
Más 11 de golpes, venimos todo por el todo y eso. ¿Cómo? A él sí ya se le inflamó. Presiónalo.
Put pressure on him. Put pressure on him.
Es todo lo que vas a hacer.
This is all you're going to do.
Pero suelta golpes, sí.
Throw your punches. Throw your punches and put pressure on him.
Sí. Vamos a... Agua, dame agua.
Give him water. Give him water.
Suéltale golpes. O sea, golpe por golpe.
Oh, Carroll landed nicely in this round. This was his best round so far. Landing good combinations left and right. He was digging down to the body, not being there to get countered in the end. Moving his waist and head a little bit more. Really good round there for Jono Carroll. Fighting behind the jab. He started off fighting behind the jab. He wants to finish that way. That's going to open up everything else.
All 36 of Valenzuela's professional fights have been in Mexico. So he's very comfortable right now fighting in Hermosillo. Coming up next, Chiasov and Darlis Perez. Been looking forward to this fight since we saw it on the bout sheet. Chiasov, an undefeated up-and-comer. Darlis Perez on the backside of his career, but a former world champion. And he's been in there with some of the biggest names in his division. Oh, nice body shot there from Carroll.
Valenzuela wants to put the pressure on. Carroll's doing the right thing by getting some respect, and they're not letting Valenzuela get overconfident, just coming in without getting hit. See right there, pivoting, getting the fight right back in the middle of the ring. Do not get cornered by the rugged fighter in Valenzuela.
Left hand there for Valenzuela.
And Valenzuela starts his combinations with the body. That's what stops Jono Carroll from pivoting away from the ropes. Starts the body, then you can go upstairs and land the shots upstairs.
Valenzuela has constantly been the aggressor, forcing Carroll to fight backwards for the most part. And Carroll has done pretty well in that role. Nice sequence there for him. Looks like Carroll's got the quickness advantage for sure.
He has the quickness and the conditioning, and it's gonna be a long night for him. So he's gonna have to keep peppering Valenzuela. Valenzuela's gonna keep that relentless, steady but surely pressure. Jono's gonna have to keep him off. This is a distance fight. Jono doesn't really have that power to take him out, and Valenzuela, well, he doesn't have the speed to keep up with Carroll either.
Carroll averaged over 100. Oh, nice shot there for Valenzuela as Carroll ricocheted back off the ropes.
Carroll, he pivoted out with his head high, and that's the reason Valenzuela was able to land that shot. Got to keep that tuck, that chin tuck.
I was going to say he averaged over 100 punches around against Tevin Farmer. Maybe doing the same thing here tonight. Always busy is the Irishman.
Same like with the front fight. No. Bam, bam. So like you're doing it, bam, bam. Okay, bam. Okay, where's the body shot? Back hand, boom. After stopping to the body, yeah? No risk, please. Okay, when you're close, if you can't hold him. No problem. When you're holding, his back hand inside. You need a little bit more uppercuts, okay?
Good right hand there by Valenzuela. Jono Carroll fighting backwards, throwing good combinations, but Valenzuela keeps coming forward and aiming at the body and the chest, which is good advice for Valenzuela. That's not going to move. Getting closer and closer to landing the bigger shots.
How do you have this one scored so far, Sergio?
Well, I think Jono Carroll's fighting good on the back foot. Valenzuela has been doing nicely. I think Carroll's ahead 3-2. That was a good round for Valenzuela in the end.
3-1 maybe?
3-1, I'm sorry.
I always forget, math is not your specialty.
No, it is not.
You think Carroll's figured out Valenzuela?
I think he figured out that he can hit him, and he needs to not get over aggressive with the punch. Just because he can land the shots on your opponent, you don't want to get overconfident. You know, you can get your opponent off guard with combinations and stuff like that, but then it gets too good to you, and you think that you can just normally land every shot, and then you get caught with something, just like that.
Left hand connects for Valenzuela.
You don't want to get overconfident just because you can land.
Oh, big left that time. And Carroll fights back, catches another left as Carroll. Some big shots raining down from Valenzuela. And again, the puffiness and redness on Carroll's face continues to expand.
Carroll's going to have to stay on his toes, literally, and with the speed behind him, because if he gives Valenzuela any type of timing, any type of chance to come back, he will get hit. Valenzuela's going to be relentless. It ain't going to be fast, it ain't going to be powerful, but it will be relentless. He's going to keep pressuring you.
Well, it's hard to be a journeyman at the age of 23, but with that kind of record, 20-11-4, you think that's kind of the territory Valenzuela's in. But if he can beat someone like Carroll, what will that do for his career?
Well, if he could do it, especially when you're fighting on television, people are watching this fight, so this is a big win for him. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say that Jono Carroll is a name, a household name, but he is a popular fighter.
And if you knock out the guy that just went the distance with Tevin Farmer, you've done something pretty special. Carroll trying to wave Valenzuela in.
Valenzuela nodding his head.
Oh, good body shot. On the right hand. This crowd getting behind Valenzuela here.
Valenzuela is a wiry puncher. He has the longer arms. He's a taller fighter, but he's a wiry puncher. Jono Carroll needs to keep that chin tucked, even when he's backing away. That's when Valenzuela is landing the big shots, because he has a longer reach.
Valenzuela nicknamed the trunk, or in Spanish,
El tronco.
and he pulled out all the stops in that round to land some big shots against Carroll.
He's afraid of you. He's afraid
Ya
of you.
sintió la pegada.
He felt your hit. We're doing really good. We're gonna put more pressure.
Jono Carroll's doing everything he can to keep the tough Mexican from landing the big shots, but relentless as Valenzuela keeps coming forward, landing a good left hook right there, keeping the Carroll against the ropes. Jono Carroll's been doing a nice job staying off the ropes, but with this much pressure, he's bound to stay there and get caught with something, and that was a good round for Valenzuela.
If you're Jono Carroll in his corner, do you change tactics at all at this point?
I think he's been really boxing nicely, but Valenzuela's been relentless, and he is the taller fighter with a longer reach. What I would advise Jono Carroll is after his combinations, keep that chin tucked, because he's been backing up with his chin in the air. Valenzuela's had success with the longer reach and punches. See, that's all Carroll's fight right there. Just use speed, hand speed. Don't stand in front of him too much. 2-3 shots with speed and back out, pivot out, just like that. Fight behind the jab. And take that jab downstairs as well, especially with the taller fighter. Go up and stick him downstairs.
Oh, Carroll landed a right hand, but got caught with a counter punch.
And he got caught with that counter punch because he didn't keep that chin tucked. He tried to just back out and pivot. See, when you're punching, you gotta punch, and you gotta think of what's coming back. Punch, duck, and then you can counter back.
The pressure game has worked pretty well so far for Valenzuela. Carroll just cannot quite get comfortable.
See, that's Carroll's game right there. See, he's just touching Valenzuela. He's letting Valenzuela's own pressure time the power right there. Just backing up, touching the gloves. That's enough sometimes. You know, you gotta, if you're in there, you're outspeeding your man. You have the faster hands. Rely on that, backing him up. Back up punching. And the inside, grind away, just like he did right there. This is a good round for Carroll. He's looking good, fighting off the back foot.
Left hand there for Valenzuela, who absorbs about 3 punches to every one he lands.
And Carroll keeping his chin up in the air again. That's when Valenzuela has success.
Do the judges appreciate the landed shots better, the volume, or the power better from Venezuela?
I like Valenzuela's power instead of the speed right here because it just, the body language is telling me more that Carroll's not really liking the shots right there. He's backing up, he's boxing nicely, but Valenzuela's the one just steady. His demeanor doesn't change.
Every once in a while, though, Carroll will sit down on one of his punches. Most of them, though, are more of that variety, where his feet are still moving. Round 6 in the books.
First, okay? If you start, I want to stand down, check down, he does that. Boom, uppercut hook. Uppercut hook always goes. But no, I need you like, bam, the last one. Like you did with the swing, bam, hard one, okay? And keep walking to the body, Jono. This is the way to start.
Jono Carroll landing some good counter right hooks right there, but he was keeping his chin in the air right there, and he got caught with a sweeping left hook by Valenzuela. When Carroll's punching in combinations, not really putting much behind the shots, he's having more success with speed instead of power.
Box.
4 rounds to go. It's been a very close one, and boy, would this be a huge upset. Looking online earlier tonight, Jono Carroll was a minus 4,000 favorite, Sergio. You had to bet $4 grand to win $100. $4 grand to win $100, I said. You should be freaking out right now, Sergio.
No, I'm not freaking out because look, I think Carroll's in control of the fight. Valenzuela's had his moments. Carroll's been boxing nicely, but Valenzuela, I think he's in the fight, but he's not winning the fight.
Darlis Perez will be featured in our next bout. He's a big underdog as well, perhaps surprisingly so, considering his resume and his career. Struggled a bit lately, but we'll see how he fares coming up next. Right now, though, all eyes on Carroll versus Valenzuela.
Good combination there by Carroll. He went downstairs, not forgetting the body right there. Right hook. Love to see that.
Valenzuela has only been stopped twice and only once in the last 7 years.
And usually, whenever you're fighting a fighter that can take it really well upstairs, it's downstairs you got to focus on.
You talk a lot, Sergio, about fighters needing to earn the other guy's respect. They can respect you. Does Carroll have that you're going to respect me type of power?
You know what? In this round, I realized that those body shots have gotten Valenzuela's respect. Look at how he's keeping his elbows tucked in now. He's not being as aggressive to Carroll. I think Carroll caught his attention with those body shots. Look at how his arms are a little bit lower, and elbows are a little bit tucked in. So yes, I think Carroll got Valenzuela's respect with his body shots.
He's going downstairs again. You're right, Sergio.
Yep.
Good pickup by you.
And look, here's the thing. When you don't have power, it doesn't mean you can't hurt your opponent. It means you just can't take him out. But if you go to the body, if you go downstairs, you're taking steam away. You're taking away the leg. You're forcing the fighter to drop his arms. And even though you don't have the power to take him up upstairs, you're still going to clock him around.
Carroll's just completely focusing on the body right now.
Oh, yeah.
And then he comes upstairs, and Valenzuela wasn't ready for it.
Because he's covering the body. So that's what I just mentioned right there. You're going to open up the head by having your opponent worry about the body.
Necesita presionar más.
You have to
Es
pressure
el
it more.
8, 8, 9, 10.
This is the 8 with the
Tienes que
10.
apretar más.
You have
Tienes
to
que
pressure more.
sobrever, tienes que sobrever, pero soltando golpes.
You have to throw those
No
hands.
dejes que te dé esas ráfagas.
Don't let him to give him so many
El
shots
pie
in
lo
a
vas a
row.
mantener por fuera de él aquí.
Stay in the outside.
Carroll dipping and dodging, just focusing on the midsection of Valenzuela, which is the right thing to do with the pressure fighting from the taller man. Definitely got Valenzuela's respect right there. Everything in the inside, just short body shots. That shot right there is a really good shot to the liver that Carroll landed on Valenzuela.
3 rounds to go. Venezuela started well, has had some success the last couple rounds, as Carroll, it appears, has focused more on the body recently.
And Valenzuela's corner just wants him to pressure, keep the pressure on. But by continuing to be that aggressive, he's going to give Carroll an opportunity to land some good shots to the body and to the chin as well.
Looks like Venezuela's spending more time on the body here in this round as well. Round 8.
Carroll's hand got caught up with the ropes right there.
Left hand on the air by Carroll. Good flurry and misses the receipt, which is so important.
Good body shot there by Carroll. When you're landing punches to the body like that, it'll be good to double up on one side, because if you're doing a right, left, then your opponent is blocking right, left. But if you double up on one side, he's not expecting that. So Carroll, it would be good for Carroll to double up on one side, either the left or the right of the body of Valenzuela.
Just like in any sport, football, soccer, baseball, and boxing as well, it's how you finish. Champions close strong, they make the adjustments. Let's see if Jono Carroll can do that here with just over 7 minutes left in this fight. Venezuela not nearly scoring as often as he was a couple rounds ago. Carroll just outworking him.
Valenzuela put a lot of pressure, with expending a lot of energy earlier, and Carroll told us that he's ready for a long-distance fight. He knows he's a long-distance type fighter, and he comes in exceptional shape. He did predict the 5th round knockout, though, Jono Carroll did.
Why'd you have to rub that in his face, Sergio?
Well, because he knew he was fighting.
Why'd you bring that up?
Look, we asked him. He said, look, I know he's a tough Mexican. He punches hard, but I'm going to go out there and try to stop him. I know he's a tough Mexican that doesn't get stopped normally, but I'm going to go out there and make a statement.
Well, there's still time to do it, and Venezuela has certainly slowed down.
I'll tell you what, if he does get the knockout, Carroll, it's gonna be to the body.
6 minutes left here in Hermosillo, Mexico.
Going, bro.
careful, okay, when you swing. But he has nothing now. No change hands with him. When he's close, start to swing, just hold him, okay? Go to the body, slip his hook. It works. Bam, hook, one hard. But after hands, please back hook. Get around this. Get out. Get out.
Here we see Valenzuela coming forward and Carroll just concentrating on that body. Every counter is to the body. Little shoe shine right there, pivoting out. Doing the right thing. Carroll needs to keep that beard tucked in though.
It's too long to tuck it in.
Well, he needs to keep that chin tucked. That's the only thing I've been seeing. He's been pivoting away with his head in the air, high in the air.
Valenzuela needs to find his second win here, slowing down considerably. Still could be a winnable fight for him on the scorecards because some of those rounds were very, very close, Sergio.
It can be, absolutely. And he's been coming forward. Judges like it when the fighter comes forward, throwing punches, being the aggressor. And he has been effective at times, so possibly.
And while you notice all those body shots, perhaps the judges don't see them as clearly because they're much harder to read than when you see a guy's head get snapped back like Carroll's has been a few times. Very true, Todd, absolutely. Sometimes the headshots catch more attention than the sneaky body shots in the inside because the body shots are harder to see, just like that one right there that Carroll just landed. The headshots are easier to see, they're the sexier punches. But those shots inside right there, those are very effective in the inside by Carroll. Speaking of effective, Valenzuela hasn't been the aggressor, but has he been the effective aggressor, Sergio? In spots, but I think Carroll's had more effective in the long run. He's been landing the cleaner shots. See those shots in the inside? That's what I see. If I was a judge, I would see those inside punches and then pivoting away from the ropes and getting in the middle of the ring. That's ring generalship. So not only did you land the effective body punches, but you demonstrated ring generalship by getting off the ropes as well. Either way, I think this was a much tougher fight than Carroll had hoped or expected. Absolutely. He said he'd work on power. He started lifting weights. He didn't want to resort to his old ways of pressuring and fighting. That was an immature way of fighting, he said. He wanted to be a little bit more brains than brawn. And I think he displayed that in this fight. He's been boxing a little bit more, concentrating on the body, fighting behind the jab, pivoting away. A smarter fight here by Jono Carroll. And not for nothing, but Valenzuela is not getting as aggressive as he once was as well. So maybe he's felt those punches from Carroll, especially to the body. See, in these quiet moments right here, you would expect Valenzuela to come forward, and he's not. And he's not landing those big power punches that he was landing in the middle rounds that were getting rave reviews from this crowd. Because he's thinking twice by the hand speed of Carroll, those body shots. The fact that he's been missing now. That discourages, no matter how tough you are, it's still discouraging. See those little shots right there, they're peppering shots with speed. Those are the effective shots to the body right there, Tom. Carroll has slowly taken over these final rounds here.
Independientemente del resultado, me dijo, hiciste una muy buena demostración.
I want you to look good.
Suelta todo, no tienes para tumbarte, no tienes para noquearte, suelta todo, ya no la pienses.
Don't think too much.
Sí, dale, todo sobre de.
Nice uppercut right there by Carroll on the inside. See, those are hand punches. He's just using speed now. It's speed and touching. Right there, he came around the guard, landing a hard right hook. Threw away 2 punches just to land that right hook.
Último round.
10th and final round. You heard the corner telling Venezuela, give it your all. That's all they can ask for. He put up a brave battle, Sergio. Can he somehow find the strength to land some power punches, maybe get a knockdown here.
Definitely has the strength, but Carroll, I don't think Carroll's standing in front of him long enough to land any type of those punches. He's been pivoting nicely, but look, right there, he just barely missed. Valenzuela missed with the looping left hand. Carroll kept his chin a little bit in the air as well. He's been pivoting now nicely, but with his chin high.
Stop. Box.
Coming up next, Iosov and Darlis Perez. Iosov keep that unblemished record intact. We shall soon see. 2 minutes to go here roughly in Mexico. Carroll, who looked in trouble in the early rounds, maybe getting upset, has established order and control here in the late rounds.
Yeah, he has, and he's done it with speed. He's done it with speed and arm punching like that. Giving some feints. In the beginning of this round, he was foot feinting as well, keeping the aggressive Mexican at bay, just with foot feints, and then with hand speed. Defense, let's see, in the inside, landing a good shots at the body right there. The way you discourage aggressive pressure fighters is by making them miss, not giving them chances to land, just like he did right there, Carroll. Anytime a pressure fighter is touching anything, he's touching the shoulders, elbow, your hips, he's getting confidence by coming forward. But when you have him completely missing, that's discouraging. You fall off balance, you're not used to falling off balance like that. I think Carroll's really caught his rhythm, his balance in the last 3-4 rounds and found that this is the way to beat the top Mexican.
Slip there for Carroll. Under a minute here as Valenzuela still searching to land all those power punches that were scoring fairly often in the mid-rounds.
Jono Carroll told us that he worked on his power. Well, his power wasn't on display here, but I'll tell you what was on display. He said he wasn't going to resort to his old ways. And that, I think he's been very successful. He's been disciplined. He's been boxing behind the jab, speed, body shots, not staying in the inside, not being the aggressor, not taking 2 shots to land 1. So that he did improve in. His upper body movement, his head movement, his speed. All in all, a really good performance, a solid boxing exhibition by Jono Carroll here.
And as usual, he showed a lot of heart. Jono Carroll looking for win number 17. Certainly looks sketchy rounds 5, 6, and 7.
Well, you always got to be leery of the fact that you're fighting a Mexican in Mexico, of course, but Jono Carroll wasn't worried about that. And I really think that, yes, in the beginning rounds, you could have given the Mexicans some of those rounds with the pressure, especially if you're fighting in front of judges that value that pressure. But if you're gonna really credit ring generalship and effective punching, that was Carroll.
And you got to stay with his pace. You might be able to stay with the Jono Carroll pace for 5 or 6 rounds. But to go 10 full rounds, when this guy's throwing over 100 punches per round, it's very difficult.
I think it was the body shots that really deflated Valenzuela. Because when Carroll started landing those shots in the 7th, 8th round, that's when really the fight got taken out of Valenzuela.
We'll see how many rounds Valenzuela did win. You would think he won at least, what, 3, maybe 4.
I'm good on it. So, which one?
Well, it's always a good rule of thumb in boxing that the longer the decision takes, the closer the fight's going to be to tally up the scorecards.
David Diamante in the ring. Appears to have the scorecards. And the crowd filling in very nicely. Again, all 12,000 tickets have been sold tonight here in Hermosillo.
Damas y caballeros, después 10 asaltos, vámonos a la decisión de los 3 jueces. Todos los jueces anote lo mismo, 98-92. All 3 judges scored this bout identically, 98-92. For your winner by unanimous decision, ganador de decisión unánime de Irlanda, Jono Carroll.
So 3 rounds go to Venezuela, but the unanimous decision goes to, to Jono Carroll, nicknamed King Kong.
I had it just like the judges. I think it was a unanimous decision by Carroll. We did see some close rounds by Valenzuela, but all in all, it was the cleaner shots, the speed, the ring generalship, and the defense by Carroll. Ultimately, it was a nice performance versus a very tough Mexican in Valenzuela, but these are the type of fights that really give you confidence, especially coming off a loss just like Carroll was in his title bid versus Tevin Farmer.
The pace, the punches, the activity, tough to keep up with this Irishman, who it seems just has a battery pack that never drains out.
World-class conditioning by Carroll, and he told us he was going to outclass Valenzuela. And it was a little bit tricky in the beginning, but I think he definitely outclassed him in the second half of the fight.
You know, Sergio, through 6 rounds, I believe it could have been, and maybe it was 3 rounds apiece, but then Carroll came out and won basically the last 4 rounds.
And that's when he relied on his conditioning, and he relied on outclassing the rugged Mexican, because look, Valenzuela was going to keep coming forward. He didn't change. He didn't have no second or third gear. He fought in the same gear in 10 rounds. Carroll, on the other hand, he switched it up a bit. He fought on the inside, fought on the outside, mixed speed up with power, and then he really focused on the body.